Hi, let me start this session by qualifying that this is based upon personal opinion, personal study. This is not medical advice. You need to seek medical advice if you've got a problem that I'm going to deal with at the moment in this sequence. So go carefully, listen to the body, and allow yoga postures and some of the postures that you would do to help the body. And this morning, I want to deal with what is quite regularly occurring in communications with me, is for the runners who may or may not have the right kind of shoes. I don't know. But the heel area seems to be suffering. Maybe it's both sides, maybe it's one side. Maybe the impact on one side is higher than the impact on the other foot. All of this is generating what appears to be calcaneal spur type of responses, where the bone grows, it's hitting the nerves, and this is at the base of the heel. Now, is it calcaneal spur or not? I don't know. But what we're going to do is have a look at the structure and then perhaps observe and discuss, if necessary, what is it that we can do to make sure that even if we want to keep our running sequences going, we need to be aware of the physical structure that we're using within our body. So I'm going to switch to my anatomy and physiology piece of software, the Visible Body, and going to focus on one of the heels, and then we have a look at and a few comments afterwards as to what is it that can be done. So I'm going to bring in my screen share. Bring what you will see. I'll disappear as I take the share towards the top right-hand corner of. I'm just going to bring it down a little bit, top right-hand corner. And you can see this is sharing. And now simply focusing on the left foot. As I bring it in, you can see the structure here of the bone, what we call the heel area. If I highlight it, we can see it a bit more. I'm going to rotate it around so we're looking at directly at the back of the heel and to the side of the heel. I've deliberately picked on the left foot so we can start to see how the structure on left and right, they're opposite to each other, how it is structured. So first thing is to take note of the three people who have actually sent information to say that their heel, there is a problem with the base of the heel. So if I tilt that away from me, we're starting to look at the base of the heel bone, which is one big structure. I'm going to bring in first the muscles and then overlay it with the skin. So here we use this area, whether we're wearing good shoes or not shoes, the impact of if you're landing in your running sequence on your heel, this is the area of impact. So if I take that off, then we start to see the areas that are being impacted. So now it's bone, muscles, and the tendons. I'll tip him a bit of it further away so we can start to see the structure. First, let's just identify the variety of supporting structure, if you like. So plantar fasciitis, this is looking at your left foot from the left-hand side. So most of the arches of your feet are in the far end of this. So if I just hide that, we then come to the muscles underneath. I'm going to tip him a little bit further back. bring the heel a little bit closer. Just that little bit more, because I want to start to see. You can see the base of the bone. I'm not highlighting it anymore. It's now there. And you can see it's almost like a dimple-like effect there. This is the origin of the, if you look at individual muscle, the digitus minimus. I've highlighted that. It starts, its origin is there. If I hide that, there's another muscle underneath, quadratus planta. Hide that. Then there are some more ligaments and tendons in there. Hide those. What I'm trying to build here is looking at the structure at the base of the heel. This is the area that is being impacted when you step forward in your run, put your entire body weight onto that heel, and then you move to the other one. So it's one at a time, but it's a continuous impact, which my hands, palms are the basis. So if I run with impact and not having enough spring in my foot. So my suggestion would be is to start to slow down on your running, but see if you can first land on the balls of your feet and then the heel drops. So it's the balls of the feet first and then the heel. It's a completely different way of running. And you can then continue to build that style. It will be very uncomfortable to start with, but that's what I do. Even in my walking, I go with the ball of my foot first on the floor and then the heel. Every now and then I change heel to the toes and then toes to the heel. Got to be mindful about this. Why am I doing it? I want my feet to work well because I love walking. Obviously, I love my yoga as well. So moving it back, tipping it back up again, just so that you can see the variety of structures. So when it comes to tendons, ligaments, I mentioned calcaneal spurs. Most of the time, the spurs appear at the back of the heel. And that's where you get a very niggly pain. And over 2 or 3 days period, it appears that the bone is disintegrated by sheer movement of the muscle structure and the skin in that area. Remember, all of this area has got a lot of fascia, the soft tissue, white tissue, with lots and lots of nerves. If I can just bring the nerves into this. Where are we? Here. The nervous system. So again, the back of the heel. Now these are all just the major nerves. There's lots of minor ones around there. If I tip him over, we can see that some of these nerves are going towards the area that I mentioned, where the impact of your running is being, the result of it is being transmitted to the brain in the pain centers as each of these nerves. Now, these are the major nerves. There are lots of minor ones around, but as we can see, they're appearing to go closer and closer to the base of the heel. So, lateral, calcaneal, the nerve in here, and sometimes it may stretch way beyond. So every one of us is different in that, in structural terms. But if you're not using the right kind of shoes, if you're not being mindful of where the body weight is impacting first, and remember, it's the entire body weight as you place your body weight onto the heel. So mindfully changing some of these stepping stones, if you like, landing on the ball of the foot and then the heel, and then the heel and the ball of the foot, alternating, or few steps one way, few steps the other way. Hopefully that will release. Now, one of the things we can do is when we are brushing our teeth, when I'm brushing my teeth, I stand on one leg, the other leg is 2 or 3 inches off the floor. So what's happening? The entire area underneath the heel is getting a body weight respite. There's no more weight on it. So the muscles, the skin, the fascia, everything is pulling away from the heel. Does that allow more energy flow into the nerves and settling some of the niggly pain that you might have at the base of your heel? And then changing over, you change, stand on another leg, let the other leg come up. And again, it's all about balance. So working with some of that kind of awareness. Now, in my case, yes, with all my walking, I don't run anymore, but there are no problems with the feet, with the legs, with the heels. So I want that to continue forever. This is a short sequence of what I do and what we can see in terms of the structure of the body. Just for those of you who may be a bit more interested, let me just bring in the full leg. Let me turn him around. So we're looking at the left foot again, left leg. If I bring him in a little bit. Bring the skin. Remove the skin. Bring the muscles. All the muscles. The gray stuff is the fascia. So I'm going to just remove the fascia first. Let's just do that simply. Hide. And then we start to see the muscles. These are all being used in your running sequences. And then dropping down a bit more, tilting him forward. Come a bit close so we get the chance to look at the heel again. Turning him around. So the back of the heel. This is the Achilles tendon. And the calcaneal spurs, when they appear in the bones at the back, lots and lots of nerves in that area, all of them starting to be impacted, giving feedback. And just for the sake of finishing off what we started today, I'm going to tilt him over so you can see the base. And it's almost the same image. Let me just qualify. These purple blogs, if you like, are bursas. Bursas are structures that contain the synovial fluid, the super WD-40 in my book. They are the ones that allow the lubrication. So the bone and the muscle don't rub against each other to tear the muscle in case there is a calcaneal spur, which can be quite sharp. So drink plenty of water. Of course, this is the fluid within the bursa is nearly 98% water. So keep well hydrated, and that will help as well. Good. Once again, I need to clarify. Whatever I've shown and talked about and used words, this is not medical advice. This is simply through study, understanding the body, and then practicing some of the things we understand, making sure that the body functions as it is designed to do. Further qualification, all I can tell you is this 75-year-old. He does all these walking, all the yoga, used to do a lot of running. That's all I can sell to you now. All my joints, fingers, muscles, bones, everything working well. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Any feedback would be welcome.